Hey everybody, my name is Stetson Randolph and welcome to another edition of Motivational Talk. The topics that we're going to be discussing today is read, the power of reading. Become an avid reader. I'm going to start this off by reading a Bible verse in 1 Timothy 4 and 13. Until I come, devote yourself to the public reading of Scripture, to exhortation, to teaching. Let's talk about that, guys. God wants us to read until He comes. Read the Scripture, get knowledge, because when the issues of life come, we're able to deal with those issues because life is just recycling itself. People in the past have come before you, and they might have had dealt with the situation. If you read about it, you might can go in a different direction and don't have to go through that vicious cycle. So read, guys. And with knowledge is power. And with power, you can move mountains. You can let God use you in a different way. He can keep blessing you with gifts. He can keep moving in the gifts that He blessed you with. So just read, guys. It's only beneficial. The meat and the potatoes of this message is explaining my life story. People always say, Stetson, where you come from? What's your life story? How was life for you? Growing up, I grew up in a small town called Hayhire in Valdosta. It's southeast in Georgia. Two small towns, but also actually became metropolitan. Hayhire is pretty small, but I love it. It's an awesome place to live. So growing up, going to high school from 1st to 12th grade, I was really good at math. I really strived. I was in college prep classes. I was really good at money and managing things. I was a businessman. If you talk to any of my friends growing up in high school, they would tell you that I used to sell frozen cups. I used to sell little juice bars and candies on the bus because I was always a businessman. That was my passion. That was my drive. That was the gift that God blessed me with. And I'm so thankful that He did that. But the areas that I struggled with in 1st and 12th grade was reading. Reading was my biggest fear and my biggest weakness, reading and writing, because grammar, it didn't come natural like math came to me. I'm telling my story to encourage somebody else. Maybe my story would encourage you to accomplish anything that you set foot and you move forward to do. But growing up, I was in special education classes, and one particular moment that I remember was I was in 12th grade, and I said to myself, how am I going to pass the high school graduation test? That I barely know how to write, I barely know how to read. But I had a teacher named Miss Boyle, and she spoke to me. She said, Stetson, you're a great reader, you're a great writer. Don't worry so much about the grammar. Just kind of keep pushing. Make sure that your sentences are clear enough and your structure is on point. And I took her advice, and I happened to pass the high school graduation test and get my high school diploma. I thank God for that. I thank God for Miss Boylan, so thank you. I really appreciate your mentor and guidance. Let's fast forward a bit. About 2 weeks after high school, I joined the United States Navy. I said to myself I wanted to get out of Valdosta. I wanted to work on me and get an education and just travel the world. Working in the hospital corpsman industry in the Navy, I love it. I get to take care of patients. I get to do my part and serve. It's a lot of great people, so shout out to all the people that came before me that's hospital corpsman. I really do appreciate you and appreciate the foundation that you laid for me. But one story that I want to bring to you guys was my time spent at Naval Hospital Camp Lejeune. I worked in the emergency department for a little while as the supply petty officer and also as the ALPO. I had a leader. His name was Nathaniel Cooper. He really influenced my life in a positive way. It helped me overcome some obstacles and some hurdles and to move forward as a leader and a motivational speaker where I'm at today. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I had the confidence to get up there and speak in front of a lot of people, hundreds of people, maybe one day millions of people. I don't know. Whatever God has in store for his vision for me. So he knew that I was good at math and money and finances, so he put me as the supply petty officer. So I actually was in charge of $250,000 a year in supplies, consumable supplies. I did that, and I also he knew that I was going to naturally be good at that, but he said, "Let me work on some of your weak areas. Not take it easy on you. Get the easy way out." So we sat down several times, writing up awards, evals, writing up different miscellaneous documents. He said, I want to teach you because he's naturally, whatever somebody's weak at, whatever you're weak at, somebody else is strong at. He's naturally great at English. I mean, he's on point. So I took his advice. We were sitting down in his office. He was like, write up this document. And we're going to go line by line and figure out what we need to work on so you can, whenever you see this again, you won't make the same mistake. And one of my biggest mistakes was subject-verb agreement when I was writing. I used to write in past tense all the time, and that's the area that I needed to work on and just reading more. Man, we did that for a year and a half, and lo and behold, when I go to my next shop, I'm writing up evals, awards, and all that good stuff. I was very fluent in that, and I can say with confidence that, he helped me out in that area. So thank you, Nathaniel Cooper, for the leadership and the mentorship that you gave me, and I'll pay that forward to somebody else. Now in the Navy, you always have long-term, short-term goals, what you're trying to accomplish. So when I'm looking forward to the next 11 years of my journey in the Navy, because I've been in 9, my plans are to do 20, I want to become a supply co-officer. I'm naturally good at finances. Supply co-officers, they manage ships and aircrafts and make sure that the ship is operable in order to accomplish the mission. So I believe that I'll be an excellent supply co-officer, and I'm able to get the job done. Next goal that I set for myself was to work on my master's degree, which I'll be starting this September, then work my way up to get a PhD. And then I told you I was good at finances, so I asked God, and if it's in God's will, if it's in my season, or if it's not even in my lifetime, I just ask and pray about it for me to have $1 million a month in passive income. The reason why people say, hey, why you want to have this amount of money? The reason why I want to have this amount of money is I'm looking at my obituary. The obituary, I don't want people to talk about, hey, Stetson had $1 billion, $2 billion. I don't care about that. That was already understood that I had money. But the money that I want to use is I want to spread to the community. I want people to talk about how many people I helped send to college. I want to talk about bringing people from underprivileged areas and give them the opportunity to succeed. I want people to say that, Brother Stetson helped create 1 million jobs. I want people to say he helped change programs around the world. That's my legacy that I want to leave. I don't know about your legacy, but God put us on this earth to do work, and I'm willing to do the work, guys. And I tell you the truth, God used people, not even ordinary people. He used people that you wouldn't think that he'll use in order to do ordinary things. So he just take my natural and put supernatural on me in order to spread his will. He shows his power all the time. And I told you earlier that the cycle keeps repeating itself generation to generation to generation, but it's done a little bit differently. So like Moses had a stuttering problem. But God used him. God used him to touch millions of lives, to move people and to do different things. And I'm saying this to say that God can use you in everything that he wants you to do. And just like Moses, it was David. David beat Goliath. He took David's natural and put supernatural on him to have him overcome an obstacle that most people couldn't do. So let God use you. Let me use you in a particular way that you never let him use you before. And finally, guys, what I want to take to you, like Zig Ziglar say, I'll see you at the top.